Hey Eleni, so sorry this took me so long to get to you, but I'm finally here at my job actually right now. So let me answer this so I can actually get back to my job. All right, so question number one. What is the most expensive thing that I've bought? I actually had to do some thinking about this. And if we're talking like in general, I think the most expensive thing that I bought was my MacBook, which it was at the time it was like $1,200 or something like that. That's $1,200. But in general, I guess the biggest thing I've bought is my education at my university because I pay about $41,000 a year. Given that it's with financial aid and stuff, and I have to pay that back. But I guess, yeah. So I guess the most expensive thing that I guess in the world to buy is education, at least in the United States, because we charge a shitload for no reason. Okay, number two. Do I think the US is a good country to live in? This is such a very difficult question for me. Personally, I have a lot of objections with the US and certain procedures and different regulations that we have. But in comparison to the rest of the world, I do feel that the United States is one of the best countries in the world. Just as a Western nation, it does have a lot of qualities that, we have human rights for the most part, fairly equally human rights, a lot of freedom of speech and things like that. So I feel like it is a good country to live in. As an American, am I happy with the U.S.? I would say most of the time no, but I still consider that the U.S. is a good country to live in. Number three, what's the first thing that comes to mind about Mexico? I guess Brazil, if that makes any sense, but no. The first thing that comes to my mind when I think about Mexico is I don't really know. I don't know. Living in New York, unfortunately, there's a huge stigma against Mexican immigrants. So the first thing that many people think about of Mexico is illegal immigrants and people that actually mow our lawn and stuff like that. So I guess like predisposed, that would be my first thing to come to mind. But after living with so many Mexicans and befriending so many Mexicans, first thing that comes to mind are just my friends and all the different attributes that you guys hold, such as being able to speak English very fluently and being able to assimilate into American lifestyle while in Mexico. So I don't know if that's the answer that you want, but that's the answer that you're gonna get. Okay, number four, what do I think as a foreigner about the Mexican government? Well, one thing I love about the Mexican government is that same-sex marriage is legal there, so I think very highly of the Mexican government in that terms. However, that's only just one feature of the Mexican government. I feel like, as similar to many other Latin American countries and countries south of the United States border, lives a lot of corruption in the government, in political turmoil and stuff like that. So I think there could be a lot of progress made within the government internally, but externally, what it goes in terms of the people, I think it's doing a good job in terms of representing all the people of Mexico. Number five, excuse me, I need my morning coffee. Mhm. What does the word money mean to me? Basically, what the word money means to me is I have none. Yeah, I guess, no, the money means everything, obviously. Unfortunately, you can't do anything without money. So I have to understand the fact that money is everything. It's just that for the most part, especially in these days, it's very hard to come across. So what the word money means to me is just hard work and determination and continually striving at achieving what I want. Number six, which country do I wish I were born in if I were not born in the USA? Okay, so I'm going to be not really answer the question the way you want me to, in saying that I would okay, no. I guess what I would like to have is dual citizenship so that I would have been born in another country but still somehow have both American citizenship and a foreign citizenship, whether it's through my parents being a citizen somewhere else or me being born there and then coming over here. So with that said, I would want to have dual citizenship with the United Kingdom because I love England. And yeah. Number seven, is immigration a solution to poverty? Absolutely not. I think immigration only further creates poverty. Most of the time, people are immigrating from lesser developed countries to more developed countries. So, for instance, from Mexico to the United States. And I don't feel that's a good solution because oftentimes, if you are poor in your own country, coming to a more developed country, though you may not be considered, poor to people back home, to your nation back home, like to our standards, you're still considered poor. So I don't think that increases poverty. I mean, that doesn't help create a solution to poverty at all. I think the best way to solve poverty is to create structures within a nation through its own government, different policies to combat poverty, whether it's welfare systems, better education, because oftentimes education is the main reason of poverty. But immigration, I would definitely say, is not a solution. Number 8, what solution would I give to break down narcotic traffic? That's a really hard one, actually, because I don't really know. The only thing that I could think of for one is making marijuana legal, which I'm not sure. I don't think it's legal in Mexico. I know it's legal in certain states here, but that's only marijuana, and I think that's the only narcotic, I would say, which can be passed as legal. And I think by making that legal, it would make people less, drug trafficking a lot lesser, just because like studies show that when things aren't illegal, people don't want it as much. However, that's the only one, and I think narcotics, there's a whole lot of, in terms of, cocaine, heroin, things like that. To break it down would be really hard. And I think I don't have an answer that would best be able to be a solvent for that problem. And lastly, do I consider myself a proud African American? Yes, I do. I feel that being African American, I'm privileged enough to have an intersection in my life of being both, have African descent and also being American. Recently, I was able to travel over to South Africa, and I think that's where I really consider myself to be proud of being African American, because I was able to get in contact, well, not necessarily with my ancestors, but the roots of my origin, which is Africa, but also have this strong American nationality. So I do consider myself to be a proud African American. And yeah, so I guess with that, that's my answer to all your questions. Hello, Mexico, hola. So yeah, I guess that's it. Sorry it took me so long to get this to you, Eleni, but I hope this does well. And yeah, pasen un buen día.